The Journal is excited to speak today with Halen and Bruce Lowman, who are in Richmond on the set of a television series set of episodes entitled Swagger. Halen, give our audience a little feel for how all this began.
Yeah. So back in summer of 2019, a former AAU coach of mine called my dad or texted my dad and asked if he would want to send in some videos for a casting call they were doing down in Richmond for a TV show. So my dad sent in the videos, and then in September of that year, they sent in an email saying that they were interested in me playing the part. So we said that we would like to do it, and then we got all the information about when they were going to get on set and everything. We were ready to go, and then the lead actor, who at the time was Winston Dukes, he played in Black Panther. He got injured, so we weren't able to do it then. That delayed everything. So then they sent us another email saying that they were planning on doing it in March of 2020 of this year, and that they had cast O'Shea Jackson Jr. to do it again. And so they sent us all the info. We were ready to do it, and then COVID hit, so they had to delay everything again. And so they sent us an email saying that once everything began to get close to normal, they were going to do it, but with a lot of COVID restrictions and regulations. So I sent us an email early this fall telling us the dates and that they had finalized everything and asking if we still wanted to do it. We told them yes, and here we are.
So, Halen, when the videos of you went to the production company, you must have really had some great moves. Were you dribbling between the legs, or what all kinds of moves did you show them that made you so successful in getting this role?
I think my dad just sent a bunch of videos of me doing a bunch of shooting drills, a bunch of like ball handling drills and stuff like that. And I guess they just thought I was good. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too had to do with they asked a lot about him, like his height, his weight, and up here we found out pretty quickly that a big focus is on academics, and Halen does. He's been blessed to do real well in school, and they really pay attention to that kind of stuff.
So, Halen, I guess you've gotten a little bit of experience on how difficult it is to be able to pull off an episode for TV. There's a lot more to it than many people may imagine. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot of takes for just one scene. It's a lot of hard work. I didn't expect it to be like this. So
So prior to actually being on the set, I guess you had to respect COVID-19 guidelines, and you had to make sure that you weren't exposed to COVID-19. What all was involved before you got to act, Halen?
yeah, they actually made us quarantine in our room for like 2 or 3 days. Well, for the first 2 or 3 days we were down here, so we had to get tested as soon as we got here at an off-site location, and then we had to come straight to the hotel, go straight to our rooms, don't go near anybody, and then we had to get tested here in the hotel every day since then, and we weren't allowed to clear quarantine until we had two negative tests, and then we could go out, like see people, actually go around people that were inside of this bubble that we're
Mm-hmm.
in.
So when the TV series is finalized, how will the public be able to find it? Will it be on the internet, a television channel, cable?
It's gonna be originally streamed on Apple TV, and I think it's supposed to come out. I don't know this for sure, but I heard that it's supposed to come out in spring of next year.
No spring. Yeah,
Yes,
spring of next year. I'm
spring
sorry.
of 2021.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if it does well, it's going to be put onto other streaming services or put onto like actual TV, or well, we don't know about that yet.
And Bruce, in a twist of events, you were able to become a part of this production as well. How did that all happen?
Well, it's got to give uh, glory to God for the blessing to be here. It's kind of weird the way it worked out. Um, Initially, I couldn't come, so my wife Tempest brought Halen up here, and he's been up here for 18 days as of today. I've only been up here for 8, but I called one of the production leaders and was trying to figure out a way that I could at least come up here and watch rehearsals. And so we were planning on that happening when the rehearsals first began. And then my wife sent me a text that said that, Halen was originally supposed to come up here for one episode. And they asked him if he could stay longer, like a week longer, to do an additional episode, and asked if I would like to be in that episode as well. And so I had to do some finagling with my work and, try to get the time off and everything to be able to do it, and everything worked out. So yeah, it's pretty neat. I was happy to be able to just go to rehearsal. So now that I'm actually in an episode with Halen, it's pretty special.
So, Halen, a lot goes on behind the scenes in a production or an element of a TV series. I guess you saw a lot of interesting things along the way.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's really cool. It's really unique. The weirdest thing that we saw was one of the cameramen was on rollerblades or roller skates. We would be up and down the court, and we have to keep an eye out for him because he would be behind us on roller skates. So it was pretty cool.
So, becoming a part of this is one thing, but watching it all unfold must be really interesting. Was the director an easygoing guy or more like a general?
Oh, it was intense. It was really intense. He was definitely more of a general, I would say. It was really intense.
So, when do y'all believe that this series might become available for the public to watch?
Well, what we've been told is we became friends with different, costume designers, directors, producers, coordinators, and whatnot. And I was talking to a stunt man that I became friends with, and he was saying that he thought I think they have one more episode to film for this season, and then it has to go to editing, and then we're probably looking at sometime in early to mid spring when it's actually starts streaming.
So, Halen, when all this is done, what's in the future for you?
We got high school basketball coming up, so if they even let us do it, depending on what the VHSL says. So originally, we thought the season was going to start while we were down here, and I was going to miss a few games being down here. So we were ready for that to happen, and then they decided they were going to delay it a month. So now it's going to start in January apparently. So we don't really know what's going to happen.
So now that you two have been through a couple episodes of a TV production, I guess you have a great respect for the fact that there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have a much higher respect for people in show business now. I mean, it was just so busy the entire time because we always had to be we had to go to school during set, and when we were at school we always had to be on standby ready to be called back on the set. So, and then as we were on set, they would do other scenes, and we just have to wait. And sometimes they would call action without us knowing that they were going to say action. So we would just have to get into character right then and there, and it's crazy. It's hard. It's very difficult to do.
Yeah, and then what was weird for me was that they had the scene set up, and they would have somebody that would come out from another room, like somebody that worked for the director, and say, okay, this can of soda wasn't here in the scene before, or this wasn't here, or your hair was like this. It needs to be. So they were really, really specific about everything.
They are such perfectionists. Yeah. Perfectionists. Yeah.
So give us a feel for what your day was like. When did you start, and when did it end, and how intense was it?
Most of our day started at around 7:30. But that was just the norm for us. I think our latest was at 8:30. The earliest was at like 6:30, and I think the 6:30 was only once, and that was like the first day we were here. So we thought it was going to be 6:30 every day, and then it just kind of kept getting later and later. But I mean, I think it was really weird, and it was really busy the entire day. Like we would even have to be ready to go on set during lunch. We would be eating our lunch, and they would be like, okay, you got to go back to set in 5 minutes, and we would have just started eating. So we would take our lunch to set with us, like hide it away so it wouldn't be seen on camera. Then in between scenes, we would just be eating. So it was weird.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah.
See
All
you.
right.
Bye.
See ya.